This is the possible future of Princess Charlotte. The public questioned whether Camilla would get a new title after King Charles' coronation. Queen Camilla's shocking outburst toward Princess Charlotte during the holidays left everyone stunned. What should have been a warm family celebration at Sandringham turned into a storm of heated words and icy glares. Could this public feud mark a turning point for the royal family's carefully crafted image? Let us dive deeper to uncover what really happened and how it caused the entire royal family to hate Charlotte. Royal Christmas turned silent amid drama. Sandringham, all decked out in festive splendor, was supposed to host a picture-perfect royal Christmas. But as the family gathered, tensions flared in ways that no amount of carols or fine dining could hide. Princess Charlotte, known for her confident personality and undeniable charm, became the unexpected focal point of the drama. According to insiders, her playful antics struck a nerve with Queen Camilla, leading to a reaction that stunned everyone in the room. Camilla's frustration was reportedly so intense that it left the once cheerful atmosphere in total silence. Was this just holiday stress, or does it reveal deeper cracks in the family dynamic? Before we delve into this, it's clear that Queen Camilla's reaction was far more intense than anyone could have expected, and this won't be the last twist to leave you speechless. Reports suggest that the Queen Consort's outburst might not have been as random as it seemed. Some claim it's less about Charlotte's behavior and more about unease with her place in the monarchy. After all, Princess Charlotte isn't just any child. With her natural poise and uncanny resemblance to her late grandmother, Princess Diana, she's quickly becoming a public favorite. The admiration she and her brothers, Prince George and Prince Louis, receive only adds fuel to the fire. Could this be a sign of feeling overshadowed by this rising generation of royals? This isn't just speculation. Royal commentators have long pointed out that Camilla's position within the family has always been delicate. As step-grandmother to William and Catherine's children, navigating a tricky balancing act has been challenging, especially with the public's enduring affection for Diana and the enormous popularity of the Wales family add to that King Charles's apparent focus on shaping the monarchy's future through William and Catherine, and it's easy to see why feelings of being sidelined might arise. Then there's the issue of public perception. The younger generation, led by William, Catherine, and their children, is increasingly being seen as the face of a modern monarchy. Princess Charlotte, in particular, has captivated the public with her confidence and charm at such a young age. Meanwhile, efforts to carve out a role as Queen Consort seem to pale in comparison to the growing spotlight on Charlotte and her siblings. Could this tension be what finally boiled over during the family's holiday gathering? King Charles's behavior during the festivities only adds another layer to the story. Observers noted how attentive he was to his grandchildren, particularly Charlotte and George, during the celebrations. Was this a strategic move to show solidarity with William and Catherine? If so, it's a clear signal about where his priorities lie. By reinforcing the prominence of the younger generation, Charles might be making it clear that the future of the monarchy rests firmly in their hands. And where does this leave the Queen Consort? This isn't just a family squabble, it's a glimpse into the power struggles shaping the monarchy's future. Some royal insiders believe the frustration stems from more than just holiday stress. The growing admiration for Catherine's children, particularly Charlotte, could be a bitter pill to swallow for someone who spent years trying to secure her place in the royal hierarchy. With the public and even King Charles seemingly focused on the younger generation, is there a growing sense of being an afterthought? It's not hard to see why Charlotte, with her Diana-like grace and undeniable charisma, represents everything the public loves about the royal family. Her every appearance draws praise and adoration, further cementing her place in the public's heart. For someone who's worked tirelessly to overcome the controversies of the past, this growing spotlight on Charlotte might feel like a threat to her own legacy. Is this what's really fueling the tension? As whispers of a power struggle grow louder, it's clear that this isn't just about one moment at Christmas. The dynamics within the royal family are shifting, and her place in it is becoming increasingly uncertain. With King Charles seemingly prioritizing the younger generation, could this mark a turning point for the monarchy? And if so, how will the Queen Consort navigate this new reality? While the royal family tries to maintain an image of unity, the Sandringham incident has exposed just how fragile that image can be. It's not just about two individuals, it's about what their clash represents. As the younger generation steps into the spotlight, the older generation is being forced to reckon with their evolving roles. Will they adapt, or will these tensions continue to simmer beneath the surface? As the holiday arguments died down, it became clear that the problems weren't just for one day. They showed bigger issues in the family that are still there, a family divided by tradition and modernity. Princess Charlotte, who's often compared to her late grandmother Princess Diana for her charm and grace, is at the center of public attention. Then there's Prince George, future king and already carrying the weight of the crown on his young shoulders. The younger royals have captured hearts everywhere, leaving the Queen Consort feeling like she's on the sidelines. Could this be more than just a case of lively children stealing the spotlight? Maybe it's about a deeper struggle for relevance. Royal tradition has always been fiercely protected by Princess Anne, and she's not shy about voicing her opinions. Rumor has it that she's taken issue with the Queen Consort's role in family matters, especially when it comes to comments about Catherine's kids. One insider even claims and made it clear the monarchy should focus on bloodline heirs and not let extended family meddle. This is where King Charles steps in, and let's just say his intervention didn't leave everyone feeling victorious. Charles, reportedly fed up with the growing tension, made a bold move. He told her to back off. Sources say Charles laid down the law, demanding a stop to remarks about the younger generation and an end to meddling in royal business. But that's not all. Charles seems to be doubling down on restructuring the monarchy, putting William, Catherine, and their kids front and center. This strategic shift leaves no doubt about where his priorities lie. For the Queen Consort, though, this feels like a betrayal after years of standing by Charles through thick and thin. Can you imagine the tension at those royal dinners? This isn't just palace gossip, it's a turning point for the monarchy. Charles's actions signal a push toward modernization, where the spotlight is firmly on William and Catherine's family. Social media, as expected, is ablaze with reactions. Some people are cheering Charles on, saying it's about time the focus shifted to the future. Others think the Queen Consort is being unfairly sidelined after all she's done. And of course, Diana's shadow looms large over it all. Charlotte's resemblance to her iconic grandmother only deepens the public's fascination and adds more fuel to this already blazing fire. The comparisons to Diana aren't just about looks but also about the way Charlotte carries herself. It's like Diana's grace has been reborn in the next generation, and people can't get enough. For the Queen Consort, however, it's a constant reminder of a legacy she'll never quite match. The younger royals are becoming the face of the monarchy's future, leaving her struggling to find her place. Anne's remarks about keeping the focus on the bloodline don't help either. The question is, will she adapt to this new reality, or let the frustration consume her? Meanwhile, the public's eyes are on King Charles. He's walking a fine line, balancing his legacy with the need to modernize the monarchy. His moves are calculated, but will they keep the family united or deepen the cracks? Insiders believe Charles is committed to transparency and unity, even if it means subtly sidelining those who don't align with his vision. For the Queen Consort, this means her role is in flux, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Charlotte's growing popularity isn't just a cute story about a charming princess, it's a sign of how much the monarchy is evolving. Her connection to Diana keeps the public hooked, and it's not hard to see why. The younger generation, led by William and Catherine, represents a fresh, modern face for the royal family. They are stepping into roles that carry immense responsibility, and the public's support only strengthens their influence. For Camilla, though, this shift feels like the spotlight is moving away from her, and fast. As we head into the new year, the royal family's dynamics are more complicated than ever. The tension isn't just about who gets the most attention, it's about what the monarchy represents in a modern world. Will Charles's decisions bring the family closer together or expose even deeper divides? The drama is far from over, and the stakes are only getting higher. What's clear is that this isn't just a passing phase, it's the beginning of a new chapter that could redefine the monarchy for years to come. The public is watching, dissecting every move and every statement. Will the royals manage to present a united front during their next big event, or will the cracks in their relationships become impossible to ignore? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over, and the next twist is just around the corner. While the younger royals get more attention, let's look back at the early life of someone whose story has not been so simple. From equestrian days to royal circles, Camilla Rosemary Shand entered the world on a summer day, July 17, 1947, at London's King's College Hospital. As the oldest of three, she grew up in a family that mixed old-school discipline with a touch of privilege. Her father, Major Bruce Shand, had a history as a British Army officer before turning into a businessman. Her mother, Rosalind, came from a noble line as the daughter of Roland Cubitt, the 3rd Baron Ashcombe. Camilla grew up with her siblings, Annabel and Mark, dividing their time between their countryside retreat in East Sussex and a posh townhouse in South Kensington. It was a childhood of pony rides and polished manners, though one suspects it wasn't all as idyllic as it looked. From an early age, the Queen Consort showed a natural love for the outdoors, particularly horses. If you've ever wondered what a privileged upbringing in England looks like, picture her trotting around on a pony. Club camps, winning ribbons at Gemas, and soaking in stories her father read to her by the fireplace. It's easy to imagine the charm of those early days, but even a life that seems picture-perfect has its unspoken layers. Did all those ribbons and sunny afternoons mask the high expectations placed on her as the eldest daughter of a notable family? When she turned 5, her education began at Dumbrell School, a cosy co-educational spot in Ditchling Village. By age 10, she moved on to Queen's Gate School in London, where she earned the nickname Mila among her classmates. Her time at Queen's Gate marked her as a lively and engaging student, but she left in 1964 with just one O-level. It wasn't about lacking smarts, her parents simply didn't think she needed to stay longer. Was it an early sign that traditional academics weren't going to define her path? At 16, her life took a continental twist. She enrolled at the Morne Fertile Finishing School in Switzerland, an institution designed to polish young women for society's elite. Then came 6 months in Paris, where she studied French and French literature. These experiences shaped her worldview and sophistication, but they also revealed a pattern. Her life was always tethered to societal expectations, even as she quietly carved out her individuality. Did those finishing schools truly prepare her for the world, or just for a certain kind of world? In 1965, she made her debut as a London socialite, part of a dwindling tradition of presenting young women to society. With 311 debutantes that year, she wasn't exactly unique, but her charm and confidence made her stand out. After stepping out of her family's shadow, she moved into a Kensington flat with a friend, Jane Wyndham. From there, she hopped between flats and shared spaces with other well-connected women, living the life of a young free spirit in London. But freedom had its limits, as evidenced by her brief stints as a secretary and receptionist. Her tardiness cost her a job in Mayfair, but it's hard to imagine she lost sleep over it. Was this carefree lifestyle a rebellion against the structure of her upbringing, or just part of finding her footing? Her hobbies kept her grounded. She stayed passionate about horse riding, often showing up at equestrian events. Painting was another interest, though she admitted most of her work ended up discarded. Fishing, gardening, and horticulture rounded out her pursuits, suggesting she found joy in simple, earthy pleasures. These weren't just pastimes, they were part of a broader identity that balanced her social obligations with personal fulfillment. Did these activities offer an escape from the pressures of her high society life? By the late 1960s, her personal life took center stage. She started dating Andrew Parker Bowles, a dashing lieutenant in the Blues and Royals. Their relationship was on again, off again, especially when Andrew's attention wandered to Princess Anne. It was during this period that she reportedly crossed paths with Prince Charles at a polo match in 1970. The two began a relationship that ended when Charles left for the Royal Navy. Her decision to marry Andrew in 1973 seemed like the end of that chapter, but history would prove otherwise. Was her relationship with Charles really over, or was it just simmering beneath the surface? Married life brought new roles. She and Andrew had 2 children, Tom, born in 1974, and Laura in 1978. The family's social calendar remained busy, filled with equestrian events and high society gatherings. Yet behind the scenes, she and Charles rekindled their romance in 1979. This time, their connection would leave an indelible mark on British history. Did she see herself as part of a grand royal narrative, or was she simply following her heart? Her marriage to Andrew ended in divorce in 1995, but by then, her relationship with Charles was public knowledge. The media frenzy painted her as a divisive figure, but those close to her often spoke of her warmth and wit. Her charisma, shaped by her countryside upbringing and cosmopolitan experiences, helped her navigate the storm. Still, one has to wonder, did she foresee the price of love, or did it take her by surprise? In her early years, her life seemed like a blend of tradition and rebellion, privilege and personal struggle. Her path wasn't linear, but it was undeniably hers. Whether mastering the art of the equestrian world or weathering the scrutiny of public opinion, she showed a resilience that would define her role in the years to come. Did those early challenges prepare her for the life she would eventually lead, or was she simply adapting as she went along? One thing's for sure, the story of her beginnings is more complex than it first appears. Behind today's royal family is a long history full of big changes and struggles. Let's take a look at how it all began, 1,000 years of royal change. The British royal family has a backstory so packed with twists and turns that it's like reading through an endless saga, spanning well over 1,000 years. It all started way back in the chaotic days when England and Scotland were a mess of small competing kingdoms. By the 10th century, things started coming together, and England and Scotland emerged as more unified realms. It wasn't smooth sailing, though. Leaders like Alfred the Great spent much of their time fending off Viking attacks just to keep their kingdoms intact. Then came the Normans in 1066. William the Conqueror barged in, took over, and shook everything up. This wasn't just a change in leadership, it reshaped the culture, language, and legal systems in England. Fast forward a bit and you've got the Plantagenets in charge, starting in 1154 with Henry II. This dynasty oversaw the expansion of territories and gave us common law, but it also brought plenty of drama. The Wars of the Roses were a brutal family feud between the houses of Lancaster and York, ending in 1485 when Henry VII of the Tudor line took over. That's where things really start to get spicy. The Tudors made waves, especially Henry VII. He's infamous for his 6 marriages and for breaking away from the Roman Catholic Church to create the Church of England, mainly so he could get a divorce. His daughter, Elizabeth I, steered the country into a golden age of culture and exploration, earning her the nickname the Virgin Queen. But when she died in 1603, the crown passed to James I, the 6th of Scotland, uniting England and Scotland under one ruler and kicking off the Stuart era. The Stuarts didn't have it easy. There was civil war, the execution of Charles I, and even a brief period without a monarchy during Oliver Cromwell's Commonwealth. It wasn't long before the monarchy came crawling back in 1660 with Charles II, but the power dynamics had shifted. By the time of the Glorious Revolution in 1688, Parliament had gained the upper hand, and the days of monarchs ruling unchecked were over. In 1707, England and Scotland officially merged into the Kingdom of Great Britain, and Ireland joined the party in 1801, creating the United Kingdom. Queen Victoria's reign in the 19th century was a big deal. She became the Empress of India and ruled over an empire so massive it was said the sun never set on it. Her era brought industrial advances and a global reach, but it also laid the groundwork for future challenges. The 20th century was nothing short of chaotic for the royal family. During World War I, King George V decided that the German-sounding family name, Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, needed to go. Enter the House of Windsor, a much more British-sounding name. Then there was the scandal of Edward VIII, who ditched the throne in 1936 to marry Wallis Simpson, divorced American. His brother, George VI, stepped up and became a wartime king, guiding the country through World War II. Elizabeth II took over in 1952 and made history as the longest-reigning monarch. Her time on the throne saw the British Empire transform into the Commonwealth and the world around her shift dramatically. When she passed in 2022, Charles III stepped in, continuing the ever-evolving saga of the monarchy. The royal family's story is one of adaptation and survival through wars, political upheavals, and social revolutions. They've managed to stay relevant, though not without controversy. How much longer they'll continue to hold their place is a question that remains unanswered. Could Queen Camilla's actions reveal deeper issues within the royal family, or is this just a one-time misstep?